Okay, hey, I got home a little bit ago. I'm on drink 3. I'm trying to get tired. I got to be back into work at 1 o'clock in the morning. I still have to take a shower and I have my food heating up in the microwave. Um, give you an update. I got home from traveling out west. Took me 3 days. I hadn't intended to come home taking 3 days. I intended to be home at like 4 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday so I could sleep all day, so I could call my dispatch and tell him put me on the night port. Of which he messages me. God, what time is it? I don't know. 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm in Kentucky somewhere, Missouri. I don't know. Anyway, I'm on the bike, and the only way I can respond to him is to just hit the video on the messaging thing and tell him put me on the schedule for tomorrow. I'm on my way home. I had planned to be home a lot earlier than what had actually occurred, and that's because I got slowed down in Wyoming because I ran into a hailstorm in Rawlings, Wyoming. That was fun. Face was peppered. I was sitting there driving down one-handed, like holding my fucking, trying to deflect the ice crystals. I didn't even realize it was hail until I had looked down on my sleeve and there was little ice crystals there. It's like shit. Anyway, so I made it to Colorado. Fine. My GPS on my bike is mental. Indian, you need to do better. I'm just saying. Just honest to God. Really? It puts you going through the thick of shit. It doesn't even think about the bypasses. I had to put on the Google. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. They've got so much construction and shit. I'm not going left, right, left, right, left, right through the square in Topeka, Kansas just to get back on 70 because they decided to close it for whatever. There was that. Anyway, and I'm trying to do this in 33 minutes, so I'm fucking forgetting a bunch of shit. Anyway, I left Colorado. I dropped my bike in my sister's driveway. My nephew, thank God he's huge, helped me get it back up. It was mental. That whole thing was like, I would panic. Wah! He's 16 years old. He's 6'2", but he's still a kid, Yeah. We managed. Woo, yay, Jax. Thank you. Fantastic kid. Anyway, yeah, I called my sister. Baby Jax, I need him. She was like, what happened? I dropped the bike. She's like, is he going to be able to do it? I was like, he's going to have to because he's the only thing I've got. And he did. Fantastic. Had no idea what was going on. He was probably like, why is her bike on its side? No idea how heavy and stupid these bikes really are. I met a guy when I nearly had a heat stroke in Kansas. That's another story. We'll get into that. He has these mechanism on his bike. He's got handles. So when, he's in weird fucking situations and the bike fucking falls over, he's got handles on there so he can lift it back up. It is, this is some big dude. He was like 6 foot something, He pulls up and I was like, is that working? He's like, yeah. I said, well, I'll backpedal it back to there. I said, I pulled up here. I was having heat stroke. He was like, really? I was like, do you got sunscreen? He's like, no. I was like, would you like some before you leave? Like, pull off your shirt, dose up, and then, do whatever. Would you like some? Because you're going to fucking need it. You're about to be airbait all the way into Colorado. And he was like, you're kidding. I'm like, I'm not kidding. I have driven all over this country. I go into Idaho. I come back. I go to New York. I said, and I have never, ever experienced this kind of bake. I had heat rash on my legs. It's gone now. But my calf and my thigh, I took pictures of it and sent it to, the in-laws, the paternal mother. She was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah. I said, the pictures don't do justice. I mean, reality is much brighter. It's wild, absolutely wild. I was literally propping my foot up. I need those little foot thingies. If I had had those, I might have been able to endure to outside of Topeka. That alone, the heat coming off my engine and my bike was, I'm telling you, I think it was like crying as much as me on that. It was rough. That was the roughest, that heat wave. It through Kansas. Have you ever opened the oven and checked on cookies to see if they were done? Or any kind of bake, whatever? You get that blast of heat? Yeah. Amplify that by about 10 with turbulence behind it. 110 degree heat. 110 degree heat. Go buy an 18-wheeler, hoping you get some relief. 110 degree heat. Yeah, panel on my bike said 111, 109 in the shade. I pulled into this gas station. I sat on the bike for almost 5 minutes because I was afraid to stand up. If I stood up, if I took one step, I thought I was going to face plant. I was literally like heat fatigued to the point where I was this close to heat stroke. That's how fucking hot it was in Kansas on Tuesday. It was murder, dude. It was fucking murder. Hang on, let me open this damn microwave because it's beep beep reminding me it's done. Hang on a second. Alright, now I gotta let it cool a little bit. Anyway, let me tell you, Zatarain's, that blackened chicken Alfredo is like crack in a bag. I added a little bit more chicken. I got some rotisseries. So I like ripped the breast off and chopped it up and threw it in there so I get some extra protein. But anyway, so my intention was to take 3 days out there, right? Because my grandbaby's birthday wasn't until Saturday. And I don't like to overstay my welcome. I just like to visit my daughter just a little bit. She's kind of finicky. She doesn't, and it's kind of like my mom. My mom knows that, 3 days is enough. 2 days is better, right? It's just our family. We're toxic. Whatever. Anyway, so I didn't want to overstay my welcome, and her husband's parents had offered for me to stay at their house. One, because they have all the room you can imagine. I was in the daughter's room. She's married and has a baby, and they live in Arizona, but they were up visiting, and they were staying together. They have another, an entire, like, apartment type of thing in the basement. Then they have 2 more bedrooms upstairs. One of them they converted into, like, a home theater, and the other one was empty the whole time. So, yeah, it's like a 5-bedroom, house. Their bedroom spans the entire width of the ground floor. So it's like I think people actually pay money and they call it an efficiency. You could put a kitchenette in this thing. It's huge. Huge. So they offered, for me to stay there with them, and they're just fantastic people. The hospitality is just incredible. And so they provided a plug so I could tender the bike. She's all about the food. Like, she thinks the world is starving, so she's got the snack pantry. I mean, oh my God. It's like a mini fucking 7-Eleven in there. And a garage and a refrigerator full of like Gatorades, energy drinks, you freaking name it. And this fucking ice maker. She's got this ice maker that literally, it makes the coolest freaking ice ever. It's that stuff you can eat ice all day long. Because it's like that slushy ice. I don't know how to explain it. It's the fucking coolest ice. My daughter loves the ice. She's like, Ma, you got to check out this ice machine. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to have to call her and ask her, what is that ice machine? I got to get one. I need one. I need one of them. Anyway, I will buy a refrigerator that doesn't have an ice maker and buy that ice machine separate. It's, honest to God, that good. Anyway, they're just straight up beautiful people. She loves to, like jest on me. Like, yeah, we need your mom over here so she can come and eat our weeds. They grow purslane. It's purslane. It's the most amazing weed that everybody overlooks. They pull it, they throw it away. I don't know. I have not grown any this year. None of it has popped up in my yard. So I was looking at her, I was like, if you just water this. She was like, really? I was like, water your garden, plump up your purslane, and chop it off right at the ground. Dice it up into like 1-inch pieces. Rinse it really good. Wash it really good. Colander. And can it. And then when you make like soup or stews or whatever, just add a jar to it. It adds so much nutrition to your food. It's just, purslane is the best shit ever. And it grows fucking everywhere. It grows in concrete. It's awesome stuff. And I love it. It tastes like a lemony green bean. If you don't know what it is, go look it up. It's fucking amazing. I have 2 jars of it in there. Canned. Yeah, because right in front of my garage, I have pavers. And they're not very maintained. And they're not put in there very well. But they're there enough so I can get the bike in and out. Right? I really need to just dig it out and get concrete put in. That I've got goals. There's I would say about $80,000 worth of improvements that I want to do on this house. So I'm not moving out of it anytime soon. It's got to get shit done. Anyway, as time progresses, I will. But in any case, they're great. They're, hospitable. They got this gigantic 5-car garage configuration. 3 cars. No, 1, 2, 3. It's actually 4. 2 20-foot doors on the house. And then they have 2 18-foot doors on the breakaway garage, detached, with a parking spot for their glamper. So they accommodated me to have my tender. They use the extension cord and plug me in. And yeah, they're great. And, my room that they gave me had my own bathroom. She's like, it's got shampoo and soap and whatever you need in there. You just use that will. I said, no, I've got my own shampoo, but, thank you. It's amazing accommodations. Oh, here's some extra towels. And I was only there like 2 days. I took 2 showers. Right? But she wanted to see me off, but she snoozed it. She was so tired. She was up until probably 11 o'clock at night cleaning up after all of the, and I was like, is there anything I can help you with? She's, nope, I've got this. You go ahead and you get settled in. You get your rest. You got a long ride tomorrow. And so, she goes, but I want to see. So you left me a note, It was great seeing you. Great having you here. I was so glad. I love the visit. You know, I am the scuzz factor that keeps everybody grounded in that area. Like my daughter, I think she's embarrassed by it. I think that she's like, my mom is blue collar. She has this really dirty job, but she loves it, and she takes care of herself, but she's so grungy. I am fucking grungy. I can clean up if I need to, but for the most part, it just, if you can't love me at my worst, then you'll never love me at my best kind of attitude. And so there's times where, I've got all of my, jewelry on, and I've got my makeup done. And, I try to impress. And who am I impressing? Nobody. I'm doing it for me, just to make myself feel better about myself at the moment. So it was a great visit. I got to see my grandbaby. Yes, my grandbaby looks more like me than my daughter ever did, which is kind of frightening. Genetics are strong. Anyway, they have this weird thing in Idaho Falls that was going on that day. They have this like duck race. They do this like, it's kind of like a raffle type of thing. You buy ducks, and you buy them online, and they give your duck like a number, or you buy 10 ducks, you get these numbers of ducks, right? And then they have this giant crane thing drop the ducks, and they got these barricades, and then the ducks race. And this is a big thing in Idaho Falls, right? And it happens like right in front of the temple. So if you're LDS, you know what an LDS temple looks like. Idaho Falls, they've got a temple. It's very pretty. It is a beautiful building. And you got the angel Moroni on the top. Well, the ducks get craned down, and they little ducks about that big, like bath ducks, and they race, and then they have volunteers come and gather them up, and they put them all in the thing, and they recycle them, and they do it again next year. So it's a raffle, and if your duck wins, you win a new car or whatever it is that they're advertising. But anyway, it's a big thing up there. My daughter was like, yeah, it's a big thing up here. There's going to be a bunch of tourists and stuff. So I was sitting there thinking, I was like, I don't know, maybe I can find a hotel. And my daughter's like, no, they offered you, they want you to stay with them. They offered. And I was like, I was checking, because it's kind of awkward, because I have my vices. She goes, no, they asked about that one night you were here, back when, baby was about a month old. They're like, she sucks on that thing, but nothing comes out. What is that? And my daughter had explained, she goes, she vapes, but she's found a trick that in the house, she just holds it in, so that way she doesn't plume. But when she's out, like she's on her bike or she's in her mixer or wherever, she'll let it, come out naturally. But if she's like in like people around a table and we're chatting or whatever, she's not going to exhale it so it doesn't bother people. And they're like, that's impressive. She's like, she smoked forever. She smoked cigarettes, like 3 packs a day almost, forever. She goes, I explained it to them, and they were like, oh, wow. She goes, so she will never, ever blow out vape in front of people inside a house. That's just her. She didn't do it here with the baby. She doesn't do it at her mom's, anywhere. If she has to drag inside, she just drags it, holds it, and then when she knows it's not going to produce any kind of whatever, yeah. it's got its plus and minuses. The plus part is that while I'm holding it in, I'm listening to the conversation. I am not hyper to wanting to interject or add or anything like that. I just, nothing. But if I'm on the bike, wide open space. So anyway, I had a great time. I had a great trip. It was a very stressful trip. I got cooked. I got rained on. Yeah, I was looking for a hotel right outside of Kansas City. On the way there, I got rained on so bad. It was blinding. I needed a hotel. I had to get off the road. It was dangerous. There was no question. I had to fucking find something. But the last legs from Colorado going into Idaho, awesome. Coming out of Idaho, got hit with a hailstorm, got hit with a heat wave, and then from Salina to home, not too shabby. We lived. But everybody started blowing up my phone when I was around Kentucky. Like, where are you at? Are you okay? One girl was worried about my truck. She said, your truck is so dirty. Girl, she drove it and she didn't clean it. And she come up, she goes, I wanted to wash it. And she goes, I couldn't get the acid to work. I said, there's a trick. I'm going to show you the trick. I said, if you turn it all the way, think opposite. Closing it would be to the right. Opening it would be to the left. She goes, yeah. I said, it's just the opposite. I said, that's how you get it to work. You got to make sure that one is on. This is opened up. And the air is on over on the pink stuff. If you don't have all that going, because Dopey upstairs doesn't know how to configure shit, we have water on our acid. It does not work anyway. She's like, you're kidding. I'm like, no. You can spray it off. It gets some of the crud off, but it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. We literally, when it's like full, we take the hose from the pink shit and plop it over into acid and use one wand for everything. She's like, wow. I'm like, yeah. Because he doesn't know how to splitter it. He's a dumbass. So she just laughed. Anyway, I got back to my plant this morning, or this afternoon, and I was talking to one of the managers. He's pissed. He was looking up at the, as it was loading, one of the trucks was loading. He said, what the fuck is that? I said, an OSHA violation. I said, we are going to get sued if someone does not fucking fix that shit. And he was like, you're right. I said, it's been like that since I got here. Actually, it's been like that since the one manager who used to maintain this plant left. He's like, you're kidding. Oh, well, I said, no, I stand corrected. It has been like that and since this manager took over. He's like, yeah, this shit's going to change. I said, it's bad. It's bad. So I said, and that is not the reason why I'm up here right now. My reason why I'm up here right now is because old girl, or not old girl, one of the other girls that drives, she spilled. And I'm trying to figure out how the fuck she did that. He said, what do you mean? I was like, the location and the wetness of the load. Mine was just as wet. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. I said, but I'm doing a garage. They're going to wet that shit up anyway because I got to shoot it. He was like, oh. And I said, yeah, that makes no sense to me at all. How she spilled. I said, and it's big. It's a big fucking patch of shit. He said, oh, really? I was like, yeah, someone can get on there and fuck. I don't know what to fucking do. It's wet. It was really wet. I said, but it's obvious. That is a fucking wet spill. It is big. And I don't know why she dropped her shoe. I have no idea. He said, how far was she going? I said, she really didn't, they didn't need to go that way. I said, now given the situation of where she went and how she went, I would have cut over on Hancock and got on 109. And I would have literally slow rolled the corner, and I would have let that shit drip all over me. And I would have taken the back ways to get to the job. He was like, what way is that? I said, well, I would have gotten on the bypass. But then I would have very slowly gone and turn around. I would have done the bypass. I would have jumped on the bypass. That way she could roll on the right and just let that shit drip all over her truck. And by the time she got there, she could clean it up after she got there. I mean, because she's going to a pump anyway. So she's got to wait for dew to get emptied out. She could have rinsed all that shit off while she was waiting. And then when it was her turn, she wouldn't have had to do nothing. He's like, yeah, now I see her. I see her. I was like, it's, when they drop it like that, I call it the rookie drop. They're doing it to try to save their turntable. It's, the concrete doesn't get on anybody as long as you stay in the right lane. If you have to turn left for any reason at all, you need to put your hazards on and you need to slow roll it at like 10 miles an hour. Seriously. So, I got home about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I had to get a hotel out of Kansas. I had to stop in Salina because I was baked. The worst heat I've ever experienced in my life. I got a hotel, checked in, went to the pool, cooled off, got a couple drinks in me, went to sleep for about 4 hours, got up at midnight, and did from about 12:30, 1 o'clock out of Kansas to home by 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a bike. So it takes longer on a bike than it does in a car, except if I'm going to New York because I know where all the stops are. So, yeah, I can, here to New York, 15 hours flat. Elmira, New York, 15 hours. Boom. On it. Now, this last time I went, I got caught in a rainstorm. I had to stop for a little bit. It took me a little longer. But the trip was good. So I hit rain on the way out. First leg. Second leg, got burnt. Third leg, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Coming back, first leg, hail. Second leg, heat wave. Third, easy peasy lemon squeezy. There you go. That's the update. I'm going to get something to eat. This is almost empty. That's number 3. Oh, yeah. I did a science experiment. I checked to, I have a handle of Tanqueray. That's what I buy. It's a big handle. And while I was in Colorado, I went and bought a 16-pack of the nips or 12-pack of the nips or whatever the fuck they, little brick of nips. And because they're easy to pack in the bags and whatnot. And I was like, I wonder if my pour is right. So I did my 4-count pour in one of my rocks glasses, this size. And then I did a nip in the other side, and they came out even. They were exactly the same. I was like, yes. I still got it. Yeah. Michelle, the bartender, she has that little thingy where she can show it kind of thing. Me, I got crown glasses. Anyway, I'm going to eat. I've got to go, after I eat, I'm going to go get in the tub. I'm going to get rinsed off because it was a hot one out there today and I'm sweaty and nasty. And hit the bed because I've got to be back into work at 1 o'clock in the morning. So, let everybody know, yes, my grandbaby is 1 year old. We had a blast. She is so freaking cute. I'm not priding myself because I thought I was an ugly baby, but as I look at her and after what everybody says, your granddaughter looks exactly like you when you were a baby. I wouldn't know. The pictures that I've seen, I look like a tortoise without its shell. I'm just saying, I thought I was an ugly fucking child. So, I think my grandbaby is adorable. She's got an infectious laugh. Check it out. Her birthday video is down there. I am going to go get full and cleaned up because tomorrow is wash, rinse, repeat. Love my job. I really fucking do. I love it. So, y'all take care. Be safe. Say prayers. Do what you got to do. Make a comment. Yeah. Anybody experience this shit on a bike? Oh my God. I quite literally felt like an air-fried human. Yeah. And I've got the burnt nose to prove it. Peace out, y'all.